I went 5 years to high school, and I was out when I was 18. And from there, I did 2.5 years of college. And at that time, my father got sick, got really sick, so he got a first heart attack, and he had, he couldn't stop working. I actually applied to go to the academy, and I spent a year in the academy, and I got out from there 1-star lieutenant. If you become an officer, you were getting paid a salary, so you had a decent position, a decent salary. And since the money situation where it was the best choice for me. And I was the youngest company commander in Italy. I don't know, I decided just to give up, and I left. Actually, I had a brigade general. He was very important at the time because he studied in US. He was, and he was really well considered. He was one very young general. He was like 45, and he was already brigade general. So he was really well considered, and he helped me a lot. He told me, look, you have no problem to stay. If you want to stay, it will be very easy for you. And I went to actually I took the first test. I took the written test, and apparently I did very well because they called me and they say, okay, they're waiting for you at that date for the oral, because there was also an oral conversation after the written test in order to pass. So they're expecting you, but don't worry, it's just a formality, because the written test goes very well. So you are recommended by Lorenzetti. So just go, and it's a done deal. So I didn't go the first time. I didn't show up. So this guy, this general, actually had been able to get another test, which it never happened. And so at that point I was kind of hiding, because my father was still sick, and his company was collapsing. And I went with my brother, with my second brother, with Jimmy. We tried together to complete all the jobs in my father's around. And this was the time when I already came home from the army, and I was supposed to go to the second meeting in order to stay there indefinitely, just do it as a career forever. And so the problem is that he had one job at the Ministry of Defense, exactly where this general was. And so I was spending my time trying to hide, trying to make sure that nobody would see me. So I thought it was okay. So at the last few days I was at the Ministry of Defense. At the end of the corridor I saw this guy, and he was an important person there, and so I was all covered with dust and stuff, and I don't know how he recognized me. So he started calling me from the end of the corridor, and he said, Viscardi, you gotta come here now. So it's like he was commanding me, like it was and I couldn't go anywhere because he saw me, and he came to me and he said, why you didn't show up at the meeting? And you said, you already told me, because he saw you like me, and say, why you're leaving a job like that to be here and do carpentry and stuff. So I explained to him, I told him about my father's, all the situation and stuff, and that's it. So and after that, it just the army thing went away, and I kept doing it. We finished up all these different jobs around, and my father started getting better, and at that point I was able to actually do my own company. Now my career was, if it wasn't for the interruption, for my father getting sick and needing help with the business, and I would have just completed my engineering study, another 2 years, whatever was left, and after that I would have probably ended up to do the same job, or just work for a big construction company or one of the company in Italy, and after eventually open my own. So that would have been probably my career.